It's August 2019, and there's a lot of stuff going on. I guess the one big thing everybody has to be noticing is the paving that's going on in Anderson County.
Yeah, the county council put out a paving contract for $2.2 million, and we've tried to make that list available to everybody through every source that we could. And then we also put out some information on the roads that are being paved from the penny sales tax, not the penny sales tax, but the sales tax on state roads. And that's a great number of roads there. So you probably have, I know you have millions of dollars that are being spent on roads in Anderson County. If you've been out on 81, you've seen it. If you've been on the highway to Belton or Honea Path, you've seen the paving going on there in different parts of the county. So there's a lot of activity going on paving-wise.
It's been a long time since we've seen this much paving.
Well, it's been a long time because now the state has some money and the county was able to have $2.2 million. But the thing is, right now, in 2008, when we were in the Depression, a lot of paving contractors went out of business. They couldn't live through it. So now you don't have as many paving contractors or paving contractor employees who know what to do. So the ones that are left are literally swamped with work. And so they're struggling to keep up. They've even created an association where they're trying to recruit people into the paving industry. I mean, you know, right now, pretty good, make a pretty good dollar being a flagman on a job. And they have a school for that. So, A, just now getting money, B, not as many people to work as there were in the past. So that's what you're seeing.
Boy, people have, it's a real noticeable difference the places they've paved, though.
Oh my goodness. I mean, it's almost like you didn't know what you were missing until you do it.
All right. I'm just going to jump around here because there's a lot of stuff going on. Let's talk about the airport, the new terminal being built. Where are we at on the airport?
Probably about 80% complete on the new terminal, and so we're looking forward to that being completed. In addition to that, you know, we completed the runway redevelopment. That was about 5 or 6 months ago, so that's being done, and some general beautification out of the airport is taking place. So we're happy about that, and we've also ordered, for the first time in the history of the county, we're ordering a specialized fire truck for the airport that is designed to not only fight structure fire, but also to take care of planes and things like that. And so it's really a specialized fire truck, and I'm happy to say that it will probably end up costing Anderson County $18,000, but the fire truck will probably cost closer to $353,000, and it's being constructed right now because every one of these vehicles, it's a one-off. They're not sitting on the shelf, so we're looking forward to that.
Why is it important that we continue to expand and maintain our airport system here?
Well, because we have a lot of corporate traffic. I will tell you this, the general aviation market across the United States, Greg and Rusty getting us an airplane flying on the weekend, that part of the market is shrinking considerably, not just here, but everywhere else. The entry level to buy an airplane to participate in that activity is out of most people's reach. So what we're concentrating on is corporate jet traffic, which we do. We will never ignore general aviation, not in the least, because these are generally people who live here with us. But corporate travel is one of our biggest money makers, because the money that runs that airport comes from the sale of jet fuel. That's what floats it, because the airport doesn't receive any money from the county. Now, has the county put money in when we're building the new terminal? Yes, but that's a one-off. You see what I'm saying? And so we want the airport to be self-supporting, not getting any tax money, anything, generate the income available. We get some money from hangar rentals out there, but it's not a large amount of money we get from that. And then we have an aviation shop, mechanical shop out there. We have a very good shop, but we don't make a ton of money off of it, but it's also a service. And traffic is picking up. Where you really make your money is off of cargo jets. And those things, they bring in a whole lot of money, and we're trying to increase the presence of those here because of the growing industry in our area.
For economic development, though, you really have to have a good airport for those.
Well, you need, because when these people fly in to Arthrex, or they fly in for Bosch or First Quality, or those people, and a lot of these people come up here every week. I mean, you've got to have that. They're not coming someplace where they have to go 80 miles away and then get in a car and drive to their plant. They're not going to do it. It's not going. They don't have the time to do it.
Where are we at in our exploration about a new jail?
As a matter of fact, we've had some conversations this week. Everybody knows we need a new jail. The thing is, we're doing with the Criminal Justice Study Committee is we're trying to find out what is that number. And the reason, because there are a lot of components in building a new jail. Now, you might not think about this, but how many people do we have out at that jail right now? What are they in for? The other thing is, are they being tried and prosecuted in a fast manner, you know? And if you can fix who you're locking up and divert some of that, and you can have speedy trials, do you need a huge jail? Because if you build a jail with 1,000 beds, you're going to have 1,000 people in that jail. So it's more to it than that. And when you build that jail, don't you think that you ought to have a training center so you can help these people get skills? I'm proud to say with the Criminal Justice Academy that we have already taken 2 inmates because we just started, and the day they walked out of jail, they had jobs. And not bad jobs, good jobs with good companies that paid benefits. A new jail would allow us to do more of that because right now that jail is cramped. We don't have hardly any room for the faith-based community to come in and minister, visitation, things like that. So what we're looking at right now is ways to finance that jail, and hopefully a way to finance that jail without raising taxes. And I think that there's a possibility that can be worked out, not guaranteeing it, but that's council's goal. But yes, we're having those discussions this week.
Is there like a timetable down the road where we'd like to have this done by?
I think the timetable's probably in the next couple of years because it's going to have to be. I mean, that jail's been out there since the 50s. And it's been added on to. Some parts are all right. Some parts resemble Alcatraz. I want to make sure that that if you're in jail, you're in jail. And if you need to be in jail, then by God, you need to be in jail. But people forget that we have our corrections officers working out there too. And that's not a great place in a great environment. God bless them for doing what they do. And Major Vaughn and his staff are doing the best job you can with that facility. But, you know, you'd like to kind of have a safe place to work.
Well, we're talking about doing the best job in that facility. The mental health initiative has been very successful so far.
That has been very good, and we never done that before, but now we're screening for mental health problems because, I'm sorry, half the people that go in there have mental health issues. And do you need to put them in jail? Yes, some of them you need to put them in jail. Some of them you need to put them in jail for a long time, but others could probably benefit from being treated after they've been in jail and been through that process on an outpatient basis because they have mental health issues.
All right, I know it's still ongoing discussion. Where are we on the discussion for the vehicle fee?
We have had now, as of now, we have had 4 town hall meetings that council has put together, and at least 3 council members have been at every meeting, and sometimes 4. And they have had meetings in Centerville community, had one in Star the other night. We've had them at Belton Honeypath High School. This coming week on Thursday, council will be at West Pelzer to have another one. And it's been very interesting on the reception. The other night in Star, I guess we had 29 people there, citizens. And it was a very engaged conversation. I think it's unanimous that something needs to be done to the roads. But then we get back to that situation where we're also telling them you get about 1,200 miles of state roads. And that gas tax increase is going to take care of those state roads. But we have 1,550 miles of county roads that go in front of your house. And that's where we need money to repair those roads. And so it's interesting, but some people say then you need to cut the budget. Some people say, I like the idea of the gas tax because some people who aren't paying anything in Anderson County would at least have to pay their share. Then you have others saying, and these are older people saying, I think you ought to do something like $15 per car and don't give anybody a break. And then others, and it seems to be the general consensus of council, 64 and over are exempt from paying that. Then in order not to hurt small business and or farmers, the discussion has been that you can only be charged up to 4 vehicles. Anything after that you don't pay. So council's trying to find out, A, do people want this? B, this is the situation, the real situation, because we know the shape of every county road. We know which ones are dying and which ones are good and which ones are going to live for another 5 years.
And let's clear up too, there's still a lot of confusion among some people who haven't been to the meetings. It's $25 and the funds will be used exclusively for roads, right?
Exclusively for roads that can't be used for anything else. It would go into a special pot. It would be audited every year, and every citizen in Anderson County would be able to see a copy of that audit, because it would be just for roads. It wouldn't be for paving parking lots. It wouldn't be to build parks. It wouldn't be to pay salaries. It wouldn't be for anything except money for asphalt. I guess that's the simplest way to say it. And council's been adamant about that. That's what it would be for. That's the only thing it's going to be used for. And under the $25 with the 4 exemptions and exempt over 64, I think what council would like to see is at least $4 million in a steady revenue stream every year for planning. Now, they've also put in there, the conversation from council is that it would be after 4 years it would have a sunset provision. So council will be able to see if it's working after 4 years, but if not, then they don't have to renew it. And if they do think it's worthwhile, then it would require 3 more votes to be extended from that. So that's where they are right now. But I mean, it's been very good. And I mean, it's kind of funny. I mean, they're going everywhere they can to try to get the message out, and they're also going out there to try to hear what the citizens want. And it's really hard in this day and time to get the message out coherently as you used to in the past. Over time, the number of vehicles in Anderson County is going to grow, so that would grow. One of the latest things is, part of this provision was to reduce taxes by a mill. Well, on a $100,000 house, it would save you about $4. Why not take that mill and devote it exclusively to roads? That would be $750 right there. Then what you raised on the fee, you might not need but $3,250,000, something like that. But council's wrestling with all of this. But your council is wrestling with all of this, and they're just not sitting here. I mean, council hasn't had a tax increase in about 10 years. Sure, they raised taxes one year, but the year before they cut taxes. So that's kind of where we are. And if you do a road fee and you do it with millage, the county only gets about 30% of that money. So, we're raising stuff, but we're not getting it. So the deal is, if we do that road fee, primarily 100% for asphalt.
Talking about growth, the Powdersville area and the Pendleton area are really blowing up. What are some of the challenges that we face with that growth?
It's challenge every day. Councilman Davis has had a series of listening sessions and interactive council meetings in his district. The big summation meeting is coming up on August 8th on what do the people in the Powdersville 3 and 20 Brushy Creek area want. What do they want to see? And there's been great attendance, and he's actually out there listening and trying to put together what people want to hear. Our planning staff, which they're just wonderful, have been setting up these meetings and attending all of these meetings. So hopefully we're going to find a direction after August the 8th. But it's not going to stop growing, and if you don't have tools to control growth, then it's going to continue to do so.
And the same, not quite to the extreme, but Pendleton is growing.
But it's coming. It is coming. There are housing proposals and developers streaming in and out of offices every day with 500 housing developments, apartment complexes and everything. We've talked before, but Clemson can't go towards Seneca. They're certainly not going to Central. They're cramped going north. There's one way to go, and that's towards Pendleton. But Anderson County is growing in that direction too. And plus, with Arthrex there and their 2,000 jobs coming there, and some other developments that are taking place that aren't quite ready for fruition. Everybody knows we're going to get another hotel right there where the old State Farm office used to be, right beside Wild Wings. We're getting another hotel there. I mean, it's coming. And I think it's good that it's coming on the interstate and on major highways, so it doesn't get out into the community, doesn't ruin what makes Anderson County beautiful, the trees and the wide open spaces.
And you mentioned Arthrex. Their buildings seem to be popping up fast, and they're up and running with a small staff and continuing to hire, right?
They've got about 103 people working there now, and they're ramping up. They have people in training now, and I wouldn't be surprised to see a third building coming up here much faster than we originally thought.
And the Anderson Institute of Technology, which is going to open this month, is going to be a big part of their growth, right?
It's going to be a big part of Anderson County's growth forever. School District 1 and 2 have had their career center for years, and they have done a fantastic job and made a difference, not only in who we're able to recruit, but what people can do when they get out. When they open the Institute of Technology, which will be the first true technical high school in the state, it's going to be a game changer. The day that opens is going to be a great day. The better day is what is going to have been done in 100 years from now, because we're going to be so far ahead of everybody. And don't think that when we're courting industrial prospects, we haven't already used the fact that it's under construction and we could go say, look, there it is. And the fact that it's right there with Tri-County Tech. So the school boards and the superintendents of 3, 4, and 5 are to be commended. Representative Brian White is to be commended for that. A lot of this idea took place when we had Bobby Hitt up here one night to discuss economic development with council members, and Tom Wilson's had this dream, but Brian White put the seed money in place to make this happen. Brian did that, and he's been a champion of this project. But it's going to make us even more attractive than we already were.
And provide homegrown jobs for our kids as well.
Jobs that you can walk out the door and go get and make a lot of money and have the potential to grow. We've talked about this before, but when about 10 years ago, when the majority of this council came in, average hourly rate was around $12. Around $12. And now it's $20. If that's what you want to see, you don't want somebody to have to work 3 and 4 jobs, okay? It would be nice to have one really good job that had benefits that you could take care of your family, so you'd have time to actually have a family and be a family.
How are we looking on the sewer projects for exits 11 and 14 on 85?
Right now, Anderson County, we're going to build a wastewater treatment plant up in the northern end of the county to take care of all of 85 in that area. But during that process, town of Pendleton and the town of Clemson, we've all kind of started talking, do we really want a bunch of wastewater plants? Why don't we just stay where the Pendleton wastewater plant is, and Clemson, city of Clemson, Anderson County, and Pendleton go in there and expand that plant and take care of all of our things. It reduces the number of wastewater treatment plants. We capture economies of scale, and really helps our whole area, because Clemson's coming this way, Anderson's going that way. We might as well partner. Pendleton is blowing up. I say Pendleton's blowing up, you won't even know what blowing up is until about another year. So it just makes good sense, good expenditure of taxpayer money. And our council's fully behind that idea of let's share the wealth, but let's also share the cost. Our council voted not only for economic reasons to put sewer so we could have growth, but also to clean up that area environmentally. Because you've got private wastewater treatment plants on Lake Hartwell. I don't know if people know that, but I don't think they're in very good shape, and I just assume those disappear. So not only is it good for the economy, it's good for the environment, and also takes care of Lake Hartwell. And the last time I checked, a whole lot of us drank water out of Lake Hartwell.
Going down that way on 85, where are we on our sign coming in from the Georgia line?
That will be on a committee meeting on Monday morning for approval. We already have the money in the budget, and hopefully we will have that. Council will look favorably upon that on Monday. Then we move it to Tuesday, and we can actually begin right after that. We already know where the site we would like to put it. We've had so many wonderful comments on the sign on the north end of the county. Really, more nice comments than I thought, and we need to do that because, you know, we'll catch you coming from Charlotte and you will know you're in Anderson County. Now we want to catch you coming from Atlanta, and we don't want people to realize there's an Oconee County. It's just Georgia and Anderson.
And it's going to be a similar sign?
Exactly the same kind of sign.
Let's switch gears a little bit here and talk about Celebrate Anderson and the Civic Center. Let's talk about Celebrate Anderson first.
Celebrate Anderson is the Sunday before Labor Day. We will crank up everything around 1 o'clock. On the front lawn of the Civic Center, we will have inflatable toys and all kinds of activities for anybody to come and enjoy, and it will be absolutely free. At 2 o'clock, we're going to have the Clydesdales, the Budweiser Clydesdales, in a parade around the Civic Center. That doesn't cost anybody anything. Then, at 5:30, we will begin the concerts. We'll have T.L. Hanna Jazz Band, as they always traditionally kick it off, and then we will have 2 country acts, and then we will have the largest fireworks display in Anderson County that night. And if you bring your own food and drink, it doesn't cost you anything for the whole day. There will be concessions available if you don't want to fool with that and you just walk in there and eat. There'll be snow cones and corn dogs and hot dogs and hamburgers and all that available. So we're looking for a really great, spectacular day. And I can tell you right now, the Clydesdales have gotten about 55,000 hits, so I don't know if they're going to be more popular than the people that are going to be singing that night. This is funded by the County Council, and God bless Michelin for funding this, and Arthrex, and a lot of other people in here in Anderson County have put their money together. Last year, it was absolutely packed and overflowing. And so I think it's working out pretty good because, you can't complain about the price of the ticket. And it's free, it celebrates us. But if you notice, a lot of our friends and neighbors from Oconee and Abbeville and across the river joined us on that day too. And that's absolutely fine because usually they come here and shop before they do anything, and we're happy about that.
I know council's had a number of meetings on the future of the Civic Center and the direction it's headed. Tell me where we are headed with the Civic Center.
That's always a work in progress, and it's still a work in progress. We have more entertainment coming than we've had in the past, which is what council wanted. We just had the Christian concert with Crowder, which was a sellout, and everybody enjoyed that. We've got Travis Tritt coming, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be a sellout. You have several other people that are in the works to come there right now but haven't been confirmed. So I think you're going to see more entertainment options at the Civic Center that you have in the past. But the one I mentioned that was a sellout, and Travis Tritt and some others, tickets are going pretty good, really good.
So there is a plan. In the past, it seemed more hit or miss. Now it's more strategic to get real acts in here.
Yeah, and it is strategic to get more acts in here because why not have entertainment here? And so that's where we are, and council's put a lot of time and effort on that. So hopefully that's going to go. I think the facilities are looking better, and I think the grounds are looking much better. So we're getting there. But people don't realize that Civic Center is used just about every day. You got this club in there, that club in there. Michelin does most of their training in there during the week. We train our police officers in there. We had the Stop the Violence rally there the other night. We have every charity group in Anderson uses that thing, so it's used all the time. But it's a lot of things that you don't make money out of or you don't know about unless you go there. And we've talked before, but we don't charge people to go to the duck pond, but that's the cost of the Civic Center. A lot of people go out there and walk on the trails. You don't charge them for that, but that's a cost of the Civic Center. The county doesn't charge people to go play tennis. That's a cost. We have to maintain those things. And when I say we, I'm talking about all of us in Anderson County. And we have sports leagues out there, and they come out there and they use that place. I mean, and I've said this 1,000 times, if we had 4 more soccer fields, they would be slammed right now. We're also looking at the possibility of a nice spring concert. So, a lot of things going on.
It's in full swing, but a lot of the latent harvest stuff's coming in, but the farmers market's done really well this year.
The farmers market has done phenomenally well, and we don't have enough space, which is a good problem to have, and people have really been supporting our farmers market, and I'm just proud to see it. I always go down there because, I like all that stuff, but a lot of people have been coming down there. I think more people are finding out about it, and I think more people want fresh food, and you can certainly get it there. Plus, when we relaxed the rules that had been in place forever, that you had to be right here from Anderson County, well, you just increase that boundary a little bit, you get a whole lot more people bringing a whole lot more stuff in there. Last time I checked, we don't have anybody in Anderson County growing shrimp. So, makes it a little bit better. And I think adding a few more crafters and artisans has helped too.
Let's talk a little bit about Paul's. They continue to be the model program for pretty much people from all over the country come here and see what they're doing at Paul's. Let's talk a little bit about how Paul's and how well they're doing.
Well, Paul's continues to set the standard for animal shelters in Southeast and across the country. Dr. Sanders and our other staff members, Randy Lee, Cheyenne, Brandy, they could probably stay on the lecture circuit every week across the country. The demand to talk to them is that high. But it continues to do a wonderful job. We're in the process of building the dog park out there, which is really a community park and a dog park, so that's going well. You can probably see the Paul's trailer out just about anywhere you go. Dr. Sanders and company had an event out at the Civic Center a couple of weeks ago. It was a strength thing, but she managed to work dogs into it, and the greatest T-shirt in the world, which are for a $20 donation, we'll be happy to get one to you, and it says "Lift Heavy Pet Dogs," and it is a really neat looking T-shirt, which you can get at Paul's for a $20 donation, and all proceeds go back into the shelter.
I did get one, and I'll say Dr. Kim Sanders would be worth her salary just as an ambassador, even if she weren't running Paul's. I've never run into anybody that's quite that gung-ho about what she was doing.
No, but I mean, Abbeville, and we've talked about this, Abbeville has a new shelter. Do you know who consulted with them on that? That'd be Dr. Sanders. Greenwood has a new shelter and a new situation. Dr. Sanders. Pickens County, they've changed the way they do things. Who do they consult with? That would be Dr. Sanders. So, and that makes sense because dogs don't know which county they're in. And when people throw out and hurt animals, they don't look at the county line. So why not fix the whole region and make it better for everybody? And that just makes sense.
A couple more things there. We're going to have to redo our voting machines. Where
Yes.
are we in that process?
Council on Tuesday night will authorize the new voting machines. Then our staff will go receive training, and they will be in use in all of the elections coming up in November. And there are a slew of municipal elections coming up in November. So I think they're going to be good because they're going to be electronic, but they also have a paper ballot backup, which personally I like.
All right, we're getting ready to move into the fall. Are any other challenges that or visionary projects that the council's working on moving into the fall?
Increased, we have several different streams of money that we can use for recreation projects. So we're looking to improve our parks, and some of the parks that people have never been to, we're going to close those. And I'm serious, we have some, I don't know how they got here. I don't know what the political motivation was, but we're cutting the grass, and nobody's been to them for 5 years, so we're going to reduce that.
I've been to them.
We're going to reduce that amount and then put more into what we have. So that's one of the things we're going to do. Economic development is going to remain big because people always think that, well, y'all do the big projects. Well, we do the big projects. Anderson County does the big projects. I'm hoping in September, the first council meeting, we're going to begin another huge project with hundreds of jobs. So I'm hoping that's going to come to fruition. Managing growth, maintaining growth, and continuing to work as hard as we can for the citizens. People don't realize that per 1,000 employees, we rank 3 from the bottom. But in terms of number of Sheriff's Department personnel, we're number 7. So we want our Sheriff's Department to have everything they need, but we run our county operations lean and mean, and we do that with quality, dedicated public servants.
And the final thing that sets us apart is we are still the county with the most international firms from the most countries.
We have foreign companies galore here, and they absolutely love it. And we absolutely
18 countries and 50.
I can't remember 18 something like that, but I just think that's wonderful because it adds to the rich social mix that we have in Anderson County. So,
But it's something most people don't know.
No. The things that I don't know amaze me every day that I find out about things in Anderson County. But a really nice place to be, and obviously a whole lot of people have found out about it.